Welcome, everybody. It's the Doggy Style Podcast, episode 21, May 11th, 2018. It's Berg and Lola, and we're back in Long Island for, for her daily walk. Now, I wasn't sure what to do tonight. Part of me wanted to work out, go to the gym. I was thinking maybe I should stay home and go through a box. And then I also thought I should walk the doggy because she's been home alone for a long time. So I used SuccessAlarm to help me decide. I selected the three items. I selected due today, and those three items were presented to me, and I selected random, pressed the random button, and walk the dog came up. I pressed the did button, and I got 2 points for it. So I'm walking the doggy and doing episode 21. So let's see what we got. So today at work, getting more stuff done. I'm still using SQL Server reporting services, and there was a bug today. So for some reason my report ran today, but it picked up yesterday's data. And I thought that there was a problem, maybe it didn't refresh or something, and I mentioned something to a coworker, and she said to me, you probably made a mistake. And I said, no, I think something's wrong, and sure enough, I made a mistake. She was right. I had hard-coded the date into the report, so it's going to run on the same date every time. I fixed that today. And I also figured out how to add what's called a confidentiality statement. So all of my reporting, I typically add a confidentiality statement to the reports as part of our requirements. And I figured out how to do that today also, which is adding a sheet. So from that point of view, that went well. Then there was we had what's called a limit breach, which means we traded too much in a certain element, and so it happened yesterday, it happened today, and one of the things I wanted to know is a managing director at my company had asked my coworker, who basically took credit for my finding this, so she asked what was the main trade that caused this. So I did a little research, and I found it pretty quickly. So now that I found it, I figured, what do I do? I was a little hesitant to send the information out, but then I thought it'll save people time, so I sent out the information. And sure enough, my boss sees it, doesn't say thank you for solving that or responding to it, but says somebody else's job. So one of the things I've learned is that helping people is not part of my job, crazy as it sounds. So I'm going to have to help less or do it in a way. And there was another case also that happened that somebody else wanted some information, and I asked my boss, and I would have normally just did it. And he was like, oh, you got to do this, and this is wrong, and you can't do this, and why can't he just do that? So he's always looking for a way to not help people. It just seems like his modus operandi. So if that's his rule, it's not my job, is his rule. I guess he's focused on things that are being measured, and maybe helping people is not one of the things we're measured on. Another thing came up today where one of my coworkers, the same one that said I'd have a problem, said, oh, and good, you'll help me learn this. And one of the things is I would be happy to help her. I help everybody. I have no problem. But the problem I do have is that at my job, they rate us on a curve, which means if there's 20 people in my group, two or three, say 4 people will get the best rating. The majority's 14. Wait, is it 4, 8, 12 would get a normal, and then 4 would get bad, and they're called below expectations, meets expectations, and exceeds expectations. And because of this, I don't think there's any reason for me to help people that I'm being rated against. It's counterproductive. What is it? Is it a rabbit? So it's counterproductive to me. It's just the way they have the system set up. And I discussed it with some guy, and he kind of agreed with me. He thought you shouldn't help people. So I'm just wondering what your thoughts are. If you could leave something in the comments of, should you help somebody in your company that you're competing with? And I would say, to be successful, you cannot help your competitors. It's just a general rule. If there's a competitor, if you have a competitor, there's a competition. They're going to take your business away. So, and I came up with a really good way of avoiding helping people. Oh, there's a squirrel over there. Oh, Lola's pooping. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. You can make a poop. Go ahead. And so the way to avoid helping people is, all I have to do is say, you don't want to go there? All I have to say, you want to go here? So she's going into a park. There's a lot of people here. We normally go with her. So the way to avoid doing it, and so let's assume it happens. Al, can you help me with so-and-so? How do I do this? Oh, you know something? That's on Google. There's this thing called Google that explains. That's how I figured it out. You just go to Google and search it, and it's very helpful. So that's going to be my method. I mean, there's a guy I work with who has helped me a lot. So him, I may help more. Oy. Okay, we're going to pause the cast. Okay, so we're back. And this is something I've been thinking about for a while, is should you help people that are in competition with you? So should I help my competition? Come here. Now stop. Oh, so there's a woman with a, stop. Okay, come on. So there's a woman with a stroller. You want to come? Let's go down here. Come down here. And she gave me a dirty look. Come on. Wait. You ready? Okay, so is that Spock? Look, it's Spock. Ready? Set. Oh, hi, Spocky. Look at Spock, Loli. Hi, Spock. Hi. Oh, hi there. What's going on? Hi there, beautiful. Hello. Oh, you're a good doggy. Oh. Lola, come say hi to Spock. Lola. Lolly, come here. Come here. Yeah, go say hello. Spock's over here. You sound like a monkey. Okay, you ready? Ready to get the treat? You got it. Wow. You're good. Yum. Wait. Okay, so we're still on. So there was another dog named Spock that was crying. I heard in the background. Now Lola is scratching her back. Are you scratching your back? Come on, let's go this way. Let's go. Come on. Oh, you had a lot of treats. Oh, she's breathing very heavy. Sounds like there's a dog in this yard too. Okay, so yeah, so the question becomes, do you help people who are in competition with you? And a coworker said you don't. You just want to ask around, ask a lot of people, and see what the consensus is. So if you have anybody you want, and I'd be interested in hearing from you, letting me know, should you help a coworker if it causes you to get a lower review? So that was the thought. Oh yeah. So one of the things this phone is, I forgot to get. I was supposed to get a new phone at lunch and I forgot. I forgot to get a phone. There is a store here we can get a phone. There's a Verizon store in my area, so I can get a new phone there. You like that, huh? Oh, we got it. Okay, let's go. If we see a wabbit, we'll get it. Okay, so one of the things that keeps happening, I bump into a rabbit in Lola, and my phone keeps dying. Looks like I have enough battery today. And the other thing is that it happens so quickly, I don't have enough time to type in. So right now I have already entered Lola Goes Wabbit Hunting after the Elmer Fudd wabbit hunting. And I'm copying it into the clipboard, so now if we do see a wabbit, we'll be much quicker to get it into Periscope. Okay, we're going to go this way. She's going this way, we'll follow this way. Achoo! Achoo! Letting little things go is bad because little things or little problems can become big problems. So it's just as a rule, always try to keep little things little, because little things can build up. And this can, especially as an example, your health. You might have a small pain, or it's good to get checkups, because if you get checkups and keep yourself healthy, it's less likely for bad things to happen. So there are other things, maybe a relationship. You let little things get out of control, or at work recently. It's very noisy in my office. People talk on the phone very loud. So I had my phone on speakerphone, and my coworker, who I'm friends with, kind of yelled at me. Can you turn that off? Can you take that off speakerphone? And he did that. Come on. Come on. And when he did that, it kind of pissed me off, and I said no. So we were mad at each other a little bit, and then I thought, I don't want to go home, so I said, I went up to him and apologized, and I apologized to him, and I'm very glad I did. So if you do fight with somebody, and you have a little disagreement, try never to let it get too big. Wait. Someone's popping my stuff. Okay. Try not to let it get too big. Hey, booby. So at another school, of course, there's a cop that I see. I see a cop. Maybe we'll stand still. Is it a cop? No, it's not a cop. I thought it was a cop car. It's not. Okay, come on. Well, standing nicely. Yeah, so keep little things little. And as an example, I let my weight creep up because I wasn't monitoring it. And there's an example of if I would have spent a little time monitoring it each day and follow the rules I have, I wouldn't have gained the weight I've gained. And I'm definitely considered overweight according to BMI. I think it stands for no, I'm not even sure what it stands for. But look up BMI, know that there's a formula on how to calculate it. I will include the BMI calculation in my website, SuccessAlarm, which now has the ability to enter your weight, show you the trend, show you your goal, tell you whether you're ahead or behind your goal. So it's shaping up pretty cool. I don't know if I'll be able to make money, but you know something, I do okay right now. So maybe it's good to just get people using my stuff, helping people lose weight, saving a life. So find ways to let the little things, don't let the little things become big things. Another thing I was thinking about today is to balance my time a little bit better. I've always had this as a goal. And so the categories I wrote down were small. So I really, she has no idea where it went. It's over here. I just threw a cookie. Um, Over here. There you go. So I have small tasks. I got to spend some time on small tasks. And I do want to get some of these small tasks out of the way. Say you have 100 tasks to do, and 50 of them are small. And if you're working on the big ones, you can always have a lot of tasks. So I do want to allocate a lot of time to getting rid of small things. Hey, she's so cute. I have to say, I have the cutest dog. Then I need to do stuff for fun. So maybe getting a phone this weekend. Maybe buying a bicycle. I could use a new bicycle. Going bike riding is fun. The only problem with bike riding, I was thinking, is that it's just hard to bring the dog. What you doing? Come on. I'm not seeing any rabbits today for some reason. Cleaning up. Just a lot of pretty messy, and I do want to be less messy. Okay, it's the rest of the cookie. You ready? This is it. Here goes. Then I want to work on my MIT, or at least figure out what it is. MIT stands for Most Important Task. It's over here. Somewhere over here. I don't know where. Go find it. So I just threw the cookie. She has no idea where it is. Oh, I see it. I see the cookie. I'm going to get the cookie before you. I'm going to get... Ah! I got it! Okay, ready? You got to find it again. Ready? Set? There, she got it. So my MIT, I want to clean. I want to focus more on health. I haven't focused that much on my health. Got a number of minor health problems, and again, this is where I just said, keep these health problems small. And then I also want to spend time on, I want to focus on one item to try to make money. Yeah, so that is a goal. I want to find some way to make money, and it seems like the best way to make money would be creating a class, which just seems very difficult. So I want to spend some time on that. So that's my allocation of time this weekend. Sure, there's other things I'll get distracted with. So I'm very big into this wants and success, and almost as a program. What you doing? That you have wants, you have things you don't want, and if you reach them, you're successful. If you don't reach them, you're unsuccessful. And so what's the difference between wants and wishes? What is Lola? Lola, what's the difference between wants and wishes? So a wish seems like something that really is not going to happen. It's something you want, but it just seems less likely to happen. Almost like a birthday wish. I wish, it's like I want to be a millionaire. I wish I was a billionaire. I wish I was this. You're really not doing anything for it. It's kind of just going to happen by the universe. Almost aphorisms. I think it's called aphorisms. There's a theory that if you write down 15 times per day what you want that it can happen, but you have to just write it down. And the whole theory behind it is if you write it down, your subconscious is looking for these opportunities. Another thing I have on my list is I need to test my house for mold. It turns out you can go to Amazon, and if for a very simple, I think $7, you can do a mold test, but I know I have mold in my house. I mean, it seems pretty obvious. Another thing I had thought of, what are you doing? So Lola doesn't want to go the way I'm going. You just want to lay down? She's tired, look at that. Oh, it's comfy grass, huh? The grass is comfy? You're tired, huh? She's very tired. You tired? You want to just lay there? Or you want to scratch? You got an itch. So I thought about that. I want to wear a suit and tie for my next meeting. We have these meetings over telepresence or some sort of video meeting with my boss who's in another state, and I'm thinking I want to wear another suit. I want to wear a suit that day. Just a thought. Probably won't do it. I'm lazy. Not enough benefit. Come on. Let's go. Okay, so another idea I had was to send pictures of your fat, yourself, pictures of yourself how fat you look right before you eat or before eating junk food. Or the other thing is that you can't eat junk food somehow until you look at these pictures. So I was talking a little bit about anger, how to manage it. So my messy desk doesn't make me angry, it just seems like it should be as simple. So this is one of the places where I believe in, I'm not sure if I got this from Jordan Peterson, that if you can't solve small problems, how can you solve big problems? So find ways to work on the little things, and the big things will be a little easier, because big things are really just small problems. Big problems are just broken down into smaller problems to solve them. Another thing that makes me angry is I talk to my phone and Google doesn't pick up the right word. And again, in terms of anger, this is very low. Come on. And I did want to go to the gym tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to. I did walk an hour already. And one of my goals is to go to the gym because I don't want to be out of shape. I want to look younger. And I do have to buy apple cider vinegar, which I forgot to buy today. So one question I have here is, where would you like to be with this in 1 year and in 5 years? So it's just some long-term planning. So I think it's a very good idea to flash forward to a year and think about where do you want to be in that year. So as an exercise, get out a piece of paper or a Word file and write down the date 1 year from now, and write down what's different. Then do it for 5 years, and then do it for 10 years. These are not easy exercises to do, believe me. They're difficult, but I think they're worth it. And again, just because I say to do it doesn't mean that I do it. Come Come on. Where are you going? You want to walk through? Okay, we'll walk through. She wants to walk through. So another item I have here is what trust issues will my users or customers have? Trust is an interesting thing when it comes to selling product. People do not want to get cheated, and it's important. It's important to have trust. Another good question to ask yourself is, it says, this is Google, what's the farthest part of accomplishing this? But it's probably, I probably said, what's the hardest part of accomplishing this? And one of the things, I need to organize my this. And stop. Come on. I don't have any more treats, but come on. So with success goals, I'm going to try and focus more on myself than other people. If I can get success for myself, then it might be easier to figure out a way to get other people to be successful. If I can't be successful myself, then I don't really have a product. So my focus will be, and I would like to get people to use it and try it so I can get some feedback. I know the product is not perfect. Could use some updates, make it more flexible, easier to use. But for the time being, all my changes are going to be things I want. The one question I have here is, how do I, it says download, but it's probably, wow, Lola just ran and did a little flip. You did a nice flip. How do I allocate my time, it says download, between small tests, but small tasks and larger tasks, that you put the word test in there. I do want to allocate into smaller. I want to get the small stuff done. Look at Doggy. So there's a doggy here. Go say hi to the doggy. Is that a doggy? Is there a doggy in the house? Come on. You don't want to say hello? Go say hello. Go see the doggy. Okay, you don't want to say hello. Okay. Yeah, Henry. At least the owners hold it to stop. Come on. The dog's name was Henry. Yeah, so how do I allocate my time between small tasks and larger tasks? So I do want to focus this weekend on coming up with better ways of balancing time, and I have an idea where I will randomly select between a number of my categories, and then after it selects that, it'll select a random item from it. How you doing? A neighbor of mine. And the next question I have is, what's needed to get users? So again, I think getting it to work for myself is definitely a start. any user will be, I can't, the word is escaping me now, early adapters. So the users of this software will be early adapters. I guess they'll be like me in a way. Come on, come on, come on. They'll be early adapters and they'll want to reach goals. So who doesn't want to reach goals? Come on, come on. So anybody that wants to reach goals or lose weight or do well at work, I am supplying methodology, or be successful for all of these things, but it has to be a little bit better. I might have to spend some money on an editor. I might need some more feedback. And I also would like to just have too many goals. I spend some more time so I can become a better writer. I think my writing's a little cookie cutter or like step by step, as opposed to intertwining the activities into a story and trying to motivate somebody. So to get users, the users, you have to first find out people who might use this. You have to get some publicity or do some marketing to them. You can try and own the search terms. Could help. So the question I have listed is, who do you know that could use this, and why would they or wouldn't they? It's interesting. I think it's really hard to get somebody to use software. I mean, number one, they don't want to pay for it. Google has done that. Secondly, it usually just takes too much effort. Like even myself, if there was a tool that did what I want to do, would I use it? I'm not sure. Come on. Actually, I do have a friend who's got a popular self-help website, and I have to talk to him about it. Though he hasn't given me great feedback in the past, his usual comment is, "Isn't there something that already does that?" That's his commentary. So, but definitely, I would do a joint venture with him. I would give him half if he had some ideas, some ways to market it, and he could be the missing link